I'm your ice cream man, baby. Stop me when I'm passing by.
Are you good?
You're in frame. I'm in frame. Hello, hello.
Welcome back to Harleys and Hairspray for another day in the red jumpsuit.
Yes, and my Mykonos shirt because I'm Miss Mykonos. Hey, do you guys know us? You should really get to know us a little more. Who are you?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think we've said our name here.
Not what we filmed. Whatever, 8 of these.
I think so.
We're still very mysterious to you, the listener.
In an undisclosed location with an undisclosed name.
That's right. And so some of you may start thinking that we're running from the law because you're developing such a great relationship with us now because
right.
we're so affable, obviously, and quite modest. But you know nothing about us. So perhaps it's a great way for you to bond with us and let us know who you are and email and write and leave comments. In the meantime, we'll reciprocate and tell you who we are. And that way we just greet you. We really need to greet you.
All right.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to Harleys and Hairspray.
Hello.
My name's Tina Overbury, and I'm a co-host with this guy. In this show, we're going to be talking about art and life and art, and I can do that in an announcer voice. See how good I am at that? I can tell you exactly who I am.
That voice is fantastic. How long have you been an artist?
I came out that way. Like, I'm not kidding. I was the kid, and I was never been a visual artist. It's always been about expression for me. I've been colorful, loud, playful, all limbs everywhere, going like a hot minute, like since I came out of the womb, truly. And I think I self-identified as I wouldn't have said artist back then, but I discovered music. Choir was my first introduction to who I am, singing in Miss Brown's class in grade 5. And aspiring to be in Miss Ormiston's grade 7 choir because she danced in her choir too. I'm like, oh my God.
Shout out to Miss O.
Yeah. And she had the biggest hands, man. She could bang on the piano. It scared the pants off of people except me.
She was also the basketball coach.
Oh yeah, she was not, but she would have been great. And my best friend in elementary school, Giovanni Smaldino, he played the Prince and I played Cinderella in our school musical in elementary school. And Mrs. O, she got us. She got us. I remember being in rehearsal for the grade 7 musical. And we were in the medical room because it was a little room that she could teach us how to waltz. And we waltzed and she laughed her head off because we were having such a good time. And then she gave us this song. I think it's from the 40s. I don't know. You'll never get away from me. You can climb the tallest tree. I'll be there somehow. And when we would sing that to each other, because he was the prince and I was, Cinderella, I could see in her face that she saw us. She saw that we were creative beings, and I could see the love on her face. And because of that, I stepped further out. Because I think that happens for artists when we're seen and we get that beautiful glow. We're like, oh, God, you see me. Oh, I should do more of this. So that's how it started for me.
That's so beautiful. And the fact that is such a happy memory for you, or a happy series of memories, and how that's connected to art. Are there any happy memories that you have that are, other than having your children, that are disconnected from art, or are they art connected? All of your best memories.
Wow, my first hit, if I get my brain out of the way, my first hit is they're all art. Because even if it's, as you've said before, the baby making sex, right? Even if it's I
would never utter such a phrase.
You would never say that.
God.
But we all know what baby making sex is.
Baby making music, maybe.
Oh, you said baby making music. I said baby making sex.
I wouldn't say baby making sex. That's self-explanatory.
Oh
but baby making music.
I said baby making sex. Okay.
Well, now we know way more about you.
Oh my gosh. Because we all know what baby making music and baby making sex is. Those moments are art for me.
Right.
They're collaborative. They're surrender. We talked about it last time. There's an other in the room, and the other is the mingling, is the art of working together. So I would say that my happiest moments are all art, even if they're not, a piece of art that anybody else would see. My experience on the inside is art.
You know where I see that? I
Where?
remember falling in love. I've fallen in love so few times I can count it on one hand. But when you get that tingle and you start falling in love in your head and in your heart, or whatever this thing is, the essence, the being, you do this little dance of excitement. And then you try to navigate the dance so it moves forward and doesn't stall. This is so good. How do I evolve the dance? And falling in love is so amazing to me. It's such a self-assessment combined with, oh, I just need to surf this wave because it feels so good. So to me, all of my best memories, including falling in love, are completely artistic. The first time I hear a song that moves me, or the first time I had a placement in a movie, I remember this was pre-cell phone. I got a pager. I had a pager like a drug dealer without dealing any drugs. And I called...
Dealing art.
That's right. And I called back and I just thought, this is incredible. I just placed my song in a DreamWorks movie. What do they like about it? And how can I duplicate that formula? Because obviously I somehow hit a nerve that resonated with someone. So all of my greatest celebrations have been tied into art. And also my greatest therapies when the love breaks down, my greatest therapies and my best friend when I'm alone in a room has been the piano and the song form, because it's the only way that I can extract the darkness and the demons. So it's not even that all of my best memories, all of my most significant memories on both sides of the color spectrum, of the emotional spectrum, and my most potent have been tied into art. I can't think of a single thing that is not.
You know where that takes me? When I think about, is what this show is about. When I think about people who may not give themselves permission to call themselves out as artists. And I think about people who, like you, maybe watching, and what you just suggested there about when you've got a hard thing to work through, whatever that hard thing is, like where does that live? Where does that live? And nothing wrong with therapy. I dig therapy, and art can be expressed and released from our body without it having to have had brain surgery done on it, or hard. Not all hard things are broken. They're just hard. Like not everything needs to be fixed. And what I what I would encourage everyone listening to do or to consider is like where do you put your things, your stuff? It might be in your cooking. Like it might be you make a mean butter chicken, right? You're like, and that when you think about making butter chicken, you're like, yeah, that's mine. I make butter chicken. And I go into that kitchen.
That's my jam.
That's my jam. And this music's on and this glass of wine is poured and the whole damn family's coming for butter chicken. Like, I don't know, but like, where does your art live? Where do you release things?
Right. And maybe this is a great opening to have you communicate with us so that we can interact a little bit and know who our audience is, because we'd love to cater or tailor our conversations to your interests specifically. And that way, if we deal with specifics, we could be a little more practical instead of make these sweeping, what I think are sometimes sweeping artistic statements.
So you're saying, hey, tell us where your art lives? Is that where you think you want to
Yeah,
start? Yeah,
or what your stumbling blocks are.
Okay.
How do you push through them? Because I find that I live in the esoteric, right? We're used to driving a car or cleaning a kitchen or picking up a child. We do things that are very concrete. And I live with sounds. Well, what are sounds? Before we touch an instrument, when you hear a song on the radio in your car, it's nothing you can touch. It's just waves. It's just frequencies and vibrations that work synergistically together, and they vacillate and they ascend and descend and peak and valley. But a lot of what really moves us is not concrete. It's very abstract. And yet, love, can't touch it, can't taste it. Not taste it with your taste buds, with your nose and mouth, but it's so concrete.
Yeah.
Some of the most formidable things in our life are untouchable. The universe, the heavens, the blue sky, love, music, the words that flow through you. If you didn't have a place to write them, you'd still have the words, and the words would still be tied to emotions, and they have nothing to do with the concrete world in which we live. So maybe for you the stumbling block is, I have all of this stuff. I don't know what to do with it. How do I get started? What do I call it? Is there a label? Where does it live? Because it is abstract. It's untouchable. Isn't it weird to think that what we've dedicated our lives to, maybe it's not weird, but it's just, if you stop and think about that idea, we have dedicated our lives to the ethereal. It is not really of the material world.
It doesn't even exist as a thing.
But it sure does.
Yeah. In fact, I would say we take that thing that doesn't exist, but it does, but no one can touch it. And we're like, how can I bring this into form so somebody else can touch it? Because right now I'm the only one holding on to it. So when I make music, somebody else can share it with me.
That's right. It's here.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
Right? And isn't it amazing that when you get in your car and you drive into the city, everything you see is of the material world? Everything. 100% of the things you drive into life, everything is of the material world. And yet the things that really matter that you hear at eulogies are, he or she were a creative human. They gave so much love. They had the warmest heart. Everything that really matters at the end of our physical journey here has nothing to do with the physical world. The real meat and potatoes of what leaves some version of legacy of us behind has nothing to do with everything that's around us that is of a tactile nature, because that really is way lower in the totem pole of significance in our lives.
You know, it's so interesting that you said eulogy, because I was putting a writing prompt together for the writers that I work with on the Writer's Adventure. So every week they get a writing prompt, and we always break that writing prompt down into how they can use it. So how to use it for inspiration, how to use it for words on the page, and how to use it for structure. And the writing prompt was something like the story I never told you, but you'll be glad you heard it, is ... And I opened my description of that around the stories you hear at eulogies, and how juicy those stories are. And I'll never forget, a woman said to me a number of years ago, she said, why is it that when I go to a celebration of life, that's when I actually meet this person that I loved so much? And I meet them for the first time.
Right there. That's the nugget.
Right?
We're wasteful. We take things for granted.
I think we're scared. I think we want to belong more than we want to be seen. I think we give up that ephemeral quality because we want to protect ourselves, because it can be vulnerable, and I think we want to belong. And what we're all about is you already belong. You were made as a creative.
And you're not alone, because now you have a community. You're part of our community, which is fantastic. Sorry, I have a phone call coming in, but it's not nearly as important as what we're talking about right here. So forgive my big finger in the camera.
I'll just do it too, just so you're not alone.
Oh, that's not the double finger.
Isn't that amazing? Just why is it that we meet people after they're gone? We really meet them for the first time after they're gone.
Yeah, or I caught myself saying something to a male friend of mine who's going through a really unattractive divorce, a really unpleasant divorce. And I said, you married this person, you had children with this person, you lived together. Isn't it incredible that you don't really see the full palette of this person's colors until you go through a divorce with them? I'm grateful for the divorce because, wow, what a wonderful revelation about this human being. I had no idea you had all of these extra layers that I shall not categorize, but you can imagine in an ugly divorce. So I think maybe that is, that's something that exemplifies the fact that it takes extreme moments, death, divorce, celebration of life, to really capture everything, the whole rainbow of flavors. Because maybe we just don't have the openness, the capacity, the time, the strength, the fabric, the wherewithal to do that on a daily basis, because that's exhausting. I remember being in India and I came back. There's so many, I mean, Goa, amazing, and Delhi and Mumbai and Calcutta. And things were happening so quickly to me the first time that I was there that I didn't really process. I absorbed, but didn't process. And about a week later, I just found myself crying in the shower. Just crying in the shower because all I could see was the image of a mother and her 2 kids living on the street, and it was clear they had leprosy. And just the purity and the joy in the kids' eyes amidst the struggle and the poverty and the heat. And so maybe that's it. Maybe we protect our system somehow shuts down to protect ourselves from such huge things that they're not meant to be dealt with on a daily basis. So maybe that is a little bit of what we're sensing.
Yeah, I think there's a piece of it there for sure. I think there's lots and lots and lots of pieces. And I think where I go to trust is that this unit, this thing that we came into the world as, actually knows what to do. Like the fact that your tears came a number of days later was your body's going, okay, your nervous system can't take all this right now.
That's right.
So we're going to somatically give this to you, right? And I think sometimes we don't trust what we've been given.
That's huge.
And we can. But we need community. I do. It's hard to trust this when you're by yourself. Because then all you think about is all the stuff that happens up here. Because you can't trust your brain. Your brain, you know why you can't trust your brain? Because it's an operating system. And you know what an operating system is? It's just a reflection of all the stuff you've put in it. That's it. It's not what you came into the world with. It's what the stuff you stuck in there. So don't trust that. I'm not saying don't trust being smart. But I'm saying, trust the whole unit. Because the whole unit is very intelligent.
I think the brain checks your heart. It says, hey, you're getting too emotional. You're moving too fast. You're too impulsive. Carry on, but just chill a little bit, right? So the brain is there as a little safeguard, or a little prison guard. Your heart's making a jailbreak, and the brain's like, I don't mind the jailbreak, but have you considered all of the ramifications of this jailbreak? So they do. You're right. They do need to work holistically, absolutely. So this, I think it's so important to have a community, because I was even thinking, well, why don't I rebel and do one of these channels by myself?
Yeah.
You could do the same.
Oh, yeah.
And I've questioned that, and I thought, wow, I'm wildly charismatic, tragically good looking. I know some big words, and I can care. But the main reason is because I bore myself, and I don't have the same rapport with myself as I have with you. So being part of a collective creates this other third party, this other being, where we trust and we understand, and we can make ourselves vulnerable, and we can try things, and we can throw bad ideas on the table because they'll lead to better ideas, and we can dare to suck, and we can dare to make mistakes, and it's all safe and it's all accepted, and there's no judgment because we know we're working. All of that is just soil to get the plant to grow. And we're not about the soil, really. We're about the growth of the plant and how to best promote that. So that's what it. So yeah, I'm not going to do one of these things on my own.
Okay.
It's not the right soil. I know you're sleepless nights.
I was worried.
Mutiny.
When am I going to get to wear this jumpsuit again? Come on.
Maybe for the next episode.
Okay.
That might just happen.
Might just happen.
All right. Talk to us. We're here for you.
I'm your ice cream man, baby. Stop me when I'm passing by.